Hey, fans of the Monday Movie Club. This week, Annie gives us rom-com with the 2007 P.S. I Love You, which is number 5,500 on Frank list. I'm Frank Gaffney. With us, as always, is P.S. I Joel You. Ah, that's cute. No memorabilia in the background there. Goldfoot and
My P.S. I
Cringer.
Love You action figures are, in the corner of the attic where I can't get to them.
Yeah. Um, Goldfoot and Cringer, who were the last ones to arrive today? Annie King, who has to be at an appointment. Mark Wotzitz Gardner, no picture up. Let me just say this about that. This is about our little movie club, okay? The thing I love about us is that we have such different tastes in movies. I feel like Annie's really the populist. She likes the fun movies. Mark G is a boy. He likes his boy movies. And so we have a nice, what do I mean? Melange
Yes.
of movie tastes. So it's great. So once in a while we get to a movie that some of us consider homework and others enjoyed. And that's great. I love it. Okay, so this one, a young widow played by Hilary Swank discovers that her late husband, Gerard Butler, has left her 10 messages indeed to help her ease the pain and start a new life. Yeah, he's in the first 10 minutes of the movie, gets a brain tumor and dies. But he's alive when the movie begins. And the whole time I'm thinking, oh God, when does he die? Let's get on with this. All right.
I had no idea.
Okay. And Gerard Butler was hot in 2007. He had just done 300, which was a huge thing. Phantom in 2004. But I don't see much else on his resume that I recognize. But they call him Jerry Butler, and his character is Jerry here. And he's 54 and never married. Is he a gay? In 2005, he said, I have been in relationships with women and men. That doesn't make me gay. That doesn't make me straight. Please, Mary, you're a gay. Okay. And he has a terrible Irish accent. Terrible. Maybe he studied the leprechaun from Lucky Charms. I don't know. Why couldn't they just make the character Scottish? He is Scottish. Then he could have had a Scottish accent. Who cares?
All the people
and Hilary Swank.
All the people who read the book, I assume, would be pissed off.
They should have cast Liam Neeson.
But they changed it from, it was all based in Ireland, so they put some American in it.
Oh, I don't.
So they changed it anyway.
No.
All right, Hilary Swank has 2 Oscars, and she decided to do this. She should never be the lead in a rom-com.
Wait. 2. I know Boys Don't Cry. What else did she have an Oscar for?
The boxing movie.
Yeah, $1 Million Baby.
Of course. Thank you.
Okay, but the supporting cast, Lisa Kudrow, yay, Harry Connick, Gina Gershon, and Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I liked him better with the blonde hair, though. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan without his bat. And Kathy Bates is her mother. And then the Allstate guy shows up, selling insurance, I guess. The only one I didn't know was the sister, played by Nellie McKay. But this was her only movie. She's actually a singer-songwriter. So there. Okay, so it's based on this novel, this Irish novel, and it was adapted and directed by Richard LaGravenese. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
He wrote The Fisher King and adapted Bridges of Madison County, and did okay here in the States, $53 million, but great overseas, $91 million overseas. So where's the sequel? The novelist wrote a sequel in 2019, and Hillary's available now. Her TV series got canceled. So what's the problem? Okay, so after the credits, he's dead. And she's in the same apartment, so no baby, I'm assuming, right? But I'm not really digging Hillary. And then she does this whole Judy Garland thing. I'm like, dude, that's Renee Zellweger. Get off it. 2019. She'll get an Oscar. And then the singer-songwriter lady, Nellie McKay, says that they live in the Tri-City area. Nobody says Tri-City area.
I thought the same thing.
Same thing.
It's
Actually,
tri-state area. Everybody knows that.
that's not true. They do it on Phineas and Ferb.
Well, they're wrong.
Well,
Yeah,
well, they're
they're
also
wrong, yeah.
wrong.
Yes, no, they're not
Okay.
wrong because they don't live in New York. They have their own little area.
Okay, well, they can say Tri-City
can
about
say it,
another
right.
place, but you
Yes.
can't say it about New York.
Yes.
No.
All right. And I'm sorry, not even the nicest gay would let anybody cut the line at a disco.
Yeah.
And then in his second letter, he finally says the title of the movie. Excuse me. The T. All right. And where is there still a working travel agency? That was like in a fantasy.
2007.
And what are the chances
Yeah.
that Gold Barbara would still be working there? Anyway, Kathy Bates then says, these are my ramblings as I'm watching it. Kathy Bates says, I had my say. I won't be saying anymore. Please, right. You're Kathy Bates. You'll be talking a lot. And then they go to Ireland. He sends her to Ireland in one of the letters. I've never been. And like I said, the original novel was set in Ireland, not America. And the author of the novel said she liked the American part of it. More likely, she liked the American money. And then Jeffrey Dean Morgan shows up. He's trying to be Irish too, but at least he's better at it. And the stupid bit with her pouring the scotch and seeing his naked butt, and she just keeps pouring. I'm like, who would keep pouring? That's ridiculous.
I was thinking to myself, realize you're doing it and do this little, stupid sitcom thing. We go,
Yeah,
you never
nothing.
did.
And so he was friends with Jerry, and that's a little creepy, possibly. And then she goes on a date with Harry Connick, who then she calls him Jerry. Talk about your cliches. I'm Daniel. Then he overreacts. What the fuck? And then and so out of left field, and again a little creepy. He obviously has a problem, and it sounds like he rewrote all his dialogue. He's like, this sounds more Harry Connick. When the waitress said to her, just you on your own, then I cracked up laughing out loud.
Yeah, and it was like 2 seconds. He could have been getting up to go into the bathroom. It was that was so unrealistic.
Just you on your own, then? Yes, I'm on my own. And I yelled at the TV, okay, Mary, just move on. You don't need another man. Just get on with your damn life. And then when she was crying to Kathy Bates, I thought Kathy Bates wasn't going to say anything anymore. She's obviously a fucking liar. and then Daniel calls. So many complications. And then Harry Connick's hair in the last scene, was he wearing a wig? I would fire my stylist. Anyway, the last line of the letter, sing it with me. And I will always. All right. And so has it been a whole year? I think because it said fall, winter, blah, blah, blah. It's been a whole year. And then, of course, she only has 10 minutes left to find her true love. And then you get the obligatory montage of what happened to all the friends. And then she takes her mother to Ireland. Oh, look, what a coincidence. There's Jeffrey Dean. Unfortunately, with his clothes on this time. And his dog, who we have never seen before. And then we get 2 hookups with 1 trip. That's great.
Yeah, but then it gets gross if Kathy Bates marries his father, then they're brother and sister, and that's just fucked up.
Live a little. Come
on. And so she ends her letter to Jerry with P.S. Guess what? Well, guess what? What? Don't leave us hanging. It's the end of the movie. All right. I just want to say, quite frankly, that Jerry is a dick. Writing these letters to her the whole year. She could have been moving on with her life, but she's just waiting for his letters and then sending her to all the places that they met, they fell in love, reminding her of their relationship every time when she should be moving on. A real dick move, those 10 letters. I'm sorry. A whole year of torture when she could have already forgotten about him. Okay. Right? Am I right? He was a dick. Mark, agree with me.
I thought she was a bigger dick.
Okay. We'll get to that. Okay, and like I said, we all talk about sometimes these movies feel like homework, but this class was an easy A. It was still a little bit torturous, but especially at 2 hours and 5 minutes, seriously, for a rom-com, a little long. And it got terrible reviews, but the audience surveyed, and maybe Annie too, gave it an A minus. You know, that Cinema Score exit poll. I'm like, not me. This is a 2-star movie out of a possible 4, which, if you've been following our things, I put what all my stars meaning. And 2 stars means I watched the whole thing. Okay. Lisa Kudrow was fun, and Hillary had a great wardrobe, but meh. I could have done without it. Marky Mark,
Well,
you
here's the
said
thing.
she was a dick.
Well, but here's the thing about the movie in general. I would say that somewhere out there, there's a Venn diagram of movies that Nikki and I like, with an overlapping circle that has Star Wars and Marvel and Indiana Jones and any type of action adventure caper. And then there's this movie, which is on the other side of the circle. Just like there were plenty of movies that are on my side of the circle that Annie didn't like. So to be fair, so this was not a Mark movie.
Did Danielle watch it with you?
She did, because we both liked the premise of the movie. All right, he's dead. This is something different. It's not going to be just a simple rom-com. We thought it was a little bit more elevated, but it didn't.
So are you going to start writing letters to Danielle so she can?
Oh, fuck that. I hated the entire opening fight scene, and then magically making up 2 seconds later. That's not the way it works. I don't know. And then other flashbacks like the karaoke. This is why I said she's a dick. She seemed to always be mad at him. When she was with him in all these flashbacks, she's giving him shit. She's throwing stuff at his face. It was like making me wild. This is not how a loving couple acts. And then to miss him so much, and they made her seem like a real douche. And Danielle was mad. We were saying the same thing. They're setting her up to be the bitchy wife and him to be the fun-loving guy that's always having fun, this and that. So they make him likable and her unlikable. And so I wound up not really caring.
Well, this is what we do to women in pop culture. You always
especially maybe 15 years ago. I guess that was the standard. And I don't like, this is probably why I don't like rom-coms, I guess. I prefer I don't know. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so her currently missing and loving him was a hard sell for me. But the flashback to when they first met in Ireland was cute. And so was the striptease. That was funny. Lisa Kudrow, to Frank's point, was a great comic relief. Kathy Bates was awesome, like always. And I actually really liked the ending. I liked her. I didn't like her with Harry Connick. I'm glad that was funny when they kissed. And then her ending up back there. Although I will say it was ridiculous when they were lost at, not at sea, but on the lake. And the one guy to come save them was Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I was like, all right, this is, come on.
You knew that was what was going to happen.
It was contrived.
Yes, but
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was serendipity. To reference another movie.
No, that was 2 months ago. Anyway, I will never watch this again, but I did not hate it. So for me, it's 2.5.
Lovely. Joel, had you seen this one before?
I had not seen this one before. And
did Natasha watch it with you?
She did, and actually she had seen it before. But it was funny because she couldn't remember most of it. And she realized she had watched it one time when she had pneumonia. And I was taking care of the boys downstairs and she was upstairs in bed. So yeah.
So she recommends this for pneumonia.
Yes, it's a cure for pneumonia.
Watch this movie.
Here's the thing is I went in expecting a romantic comedy and it's not funny. It's an hour-long search for how we deal with grief, which is not funny. But so I'm taking offense to the fact that we're calling it a rom-com because it's not a rom-com. It's a romantic drama. It's a rom.
Rom-dram.
I have no problem with the expressions of how we all deal with grief differently, and I kind of like the concept of I didn't think he was a dick about that. He was literally trying to help his wife because he knew she wouldn't be able to move on without a big push. Um, and
And
because
since she was so nice to him all the time.
yes, exactly. She was so nice to him.
Girl, what's on your shirt? Is that a Star Wars thing?
It's Star Wars. Yeah, sorry, my laptop is dying. I didn't realize it wasn't plugged in. Now it's not a problem. Okay.
Well, maybe your laptop will write you 10 letters.
Maybe it will. I'm not upset that I watched it. I don't feel like I wasted my 2 hours and 5 minutes. It could have been shorter. Movies like this don't need to be that long.
There was a lot of plot.
Yeah. It's not something I'd watch again, but I'm not sad I saw it. The one thing that really ticked me off and made me realize that this is a trope of so many movies that I find so unbelievable is there's always the guy who has the uncle that he's the only one with the keys to the giant stadium so he can bring someone in late at night. Like there's nobody else works at the stadium. Nobody else has the keys to come in. Nobody else is going to be there going, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing in here?" Yeah.
Amy has that person at Shea Stadium or City Field now.
Yeah. Oh,
Right?
Well, and they also don't want to pay for all those extras. So
no, I get that, but it's like I don't. It takes me out of anything whenever I see it. It's like there would be, and I'm not talking like all those extras. There should be at least one other guy, a security guard, a somebody.
hey, what are you doing here?
What the fuck are you doing? Oh, my uncle Jacob said, he let us in and we could do this. And it's, oh, you're Jacob's nephew. Okay, whatever, just
What
something.
movie did we just watch where two people go over an entire ice skating rink?
Rocky.
Serendipity.
Oh God, it was Rocky.
It was
Rocky.
Serendipity too.
And Serendipity.
There's a sequel to Serendipity?
Yes, there's apparently
Yeah, it's the ice cream place.
I'm going to agree with Mark and give it 2.5 stars. If you've never seen it, it's watching once, or at least, cut in
One and done.
Join it 10 minutes in after he's dead. And then and it cuts the 10 minutes off the film. It's a little bit shorter. It'll work fine. Oh, well, sorry. One other thing Natasha was complaining about at the opening scene when they're arguing and everything, and she's complaining about, they couldn't raise a baby in an apartment that size. And Natasha's like, you could fit a family of 5 in an apartment that size.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And since I know you're going to me, there were also something was wrong with the fight. I think she kept saying, I just don't want a baby now. And he kept saying, you just don't want a baby. I could have them in reverse, but that was driving me crazy. I'm like, listen to this person. That's not what they're saying. They just don't, it must have been her. Just don't want it now. Idiotic fights like that. I wrote, while I found it ridiculous that her friends and family just literally walked into her unlocked apartment
Yes.
3 weeks after the guy died. She's 29 years old, now 30. Her husband just died, and they've got the balloons and they're screaming happy birthday. I thought that was just ridiculous. But I did chuckle, and I don't know what the setup was, so maybe one of you will remember. I actually chuckled out loud when she said she was exhausted, and Lisa Kudrow's character said, what are you doing, 2 shows a night? In context, that cracked me up. I just don't remember it now.
That was the whole Judy Garland thing.
Oh, the Judy Garland thing. Yeah. That was very funny. The whole movie just seemed to be very all over the place. I can't really explain why, but I didn't feel like a lot of the scenes even worked together. It felt like I was watching, like somebody wrote 4 different scripts and just threw them all together, like threw them at the wall to see what sticks. The characters didn't seem believable or normal, I wrote. And the only other thing I wrote was it was shocking to have Jerry die after the first scene. I had no idea. Because we really didn't know anything about them. So why should we care that much about them? More shocking was how after just a couple of weeks, she was already seemingly very flirty, if I remember correctly. It just seemed so. I can definitely appreciate that everybody grieves differently, because I don't really grieve that much, but I would not just be looking for a date in 3 weeks and having birthday parties. It was just weird. So that's all I had wrote.
Well, the birthday party wasn't her idea, obviously, but they were
Right.
trying to cheer her up, and that's why they came over. It was her 30th birthday.
Yeah, but you also have to figure that she and Jerry had discussed what they were going to do for her 30th birthday. So it would have been even harder for her to have people barging in and screaming happy birthday.
Maybe that was his idea to surprise her.
Maybe it was an unread letter that had been sent, that Kathy Bates had that, was just
Right.
for her to say, hey, she's going to be
Go to her birthday.
crazy. Go
Yeah.
throw her birthday party.
Yeah. And
Could have been
make sure her door is unlocked that night in Manhattan.
Right. When you go in to steal the leather jacket, don't lock the door on your way out.
Well, at least there was a good explanation why the letters were showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, that way if it was being like magical, some shit. And
Yeah.
go back to that last comment. I there was something I wanted to say, and then it went out of my head.
I
The last
said
paragraph.
it was shocking to have Jerry die in the first scene. We didn't really care about
Oh,
him
okay, you
much.
didn't care about
Why
that.
did we care?
But then, of course, yeah, that was it. But of course, the you went to this movie, so you're there. You're not leaving. So we do see those snippets as we go along. You do see them meeting and all of that. So you do get to care more about them as the movie goes on.
And
But
again, that is why I say you could have cut that entire first scene and just picked up with, okay, we're at a funeral with this. We don't need to get to know them because you get to know them through the rest of the movie. And
I think part of it too is then because the argument was the thing that we saw, that's the thing that's on her head, how she always mistreated him and she loved him so much. And now he's gone. So there's that regret of, I could have been nicer.
You still get that through the rest of the film. So,
yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah. But then he's a superstar. So they wanted to see him first. All right. That is, what did you say for stars, girl?
2.25.
2.25. Annie Chung King.
Yeah,
This was your choice.
it is. And it's actually in my collection. Although I
Wow.
couldn't find it because it's boxed up somewhere, so I had to pay for it on Amazon.
Yeah, you probably have it ready to go with the tag sale.
Yeah. No, that's in a box of movies I'm saving because I love this movie and it just hits me in all the right spots. I'm crying throughout the entire movie, even though I've seen it so many times. And I think it's one of those things that I think about all the time. Like, do I want to know that I'm going to die in 3 months, or do I just want it to be sudden? Right? It's one of those questions that I think about all the time. And if I do know, huh?
Yeah, I was going to say, and what's your current decision?
Well, if I do know, then do I want to write letters and tell people things after I'm gone? I definitely want a huge party before I'm gone.
Yeah.
So if I know I'm going to throw a huge party, but then I think like, it's so much better if I just went and I didn't know, like get hit by a bus and just be gone, So it's
Wait
one
a
of
minute.
those.
Now, this is a dilemma for me now. Every time I get an invitation from you, I'm going to think, oh my God, she's dying.
Yeah.
She's going to have a party.
Yes. I'm going to have a huge party, right? Before I die. So if I know.
Well, if I know I'm having a huge party at Peter Luger's, so watch out for Peter.
Oh, okay.
Good
So
to
if we
know.
get that invitation to Peter Luger's, then we'll know.
We'll know.
Yeah,
We'll
but
know.
you have to time it in such a way that you're dead before the check arrives.
Yeah.
Exactly. $25 glass of water.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's just, I know it's like ridiculous, so much of it, like the whole shoe thing and how she has this huge company now with her shoes and everything. And, a lot of it is just so like
Yeah,
unbelievable.
It's fantasy. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah. But it's cute. And I love the letters. I love him, sending her to Ireland and his parents and everything. And he had a letter for his parents and stuff. And I like that all part. So
So you'd be sending Danny to China, though?
no,
No.
I'd be setting up his Tinder account,
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Has Danny watched this movie?
Yeah, he watches it with me.
All right, so then he knows what he needs to do.
Yeah. No, I don't think he would, but yeah,
All
so just, fun for me. I mean, I don't know if it's fun is the word. I just enjoy it. I just enjoy, even though I know exactly what's going to happen every single time. And I have watched it a lot. It's actually a ringtone. I love the song so much. It's a ringtone on my phone.
I don't think I even remember what the song was.
Yeah. I had to like look it all up, and it was the Pogues and everything, who I've never heard, but then I had to get it on a ringtone. So it's a 3-star movie for me.
All right, cool. And that's exactly how I started to say that we all have different tastes in movies, and it's fun to see what
Well,
kinds of
I'm always happy when I make you guys watch something that you've never seen before.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
I know that's hard with me, but I do appreciate it. So
yeah. I never would have watched this movie. So okay. So P.S.I. Love You isn't on the usual subscription streaming services, but if Annie can find a DVD, you can borrow it. Next week, Mark is making us watch City Slickers from 1991. Again, not available from any streaming service, and it's not even available for rental. You have to buy it. That's
Or
interesting.
or
Is that Columbia? Is that Columbia Pictures? That one?
or
Yeah,
do you
Columbia
think
Castle Rock, right?
Castle Rock, but Castle Rock is now Warner. It's a long story.
Warner Brothers. That explains why it's not available for rental.
There's a lot of reasons.
Or library.
or my house. I have the DVD.
Well, I actually got it from the library. That's it for us. I'm Frank Gaffney. Go watch a movie.
And also with you.